Can you hear me now?
There we go. Here we go.
Can you hear me now?
Is this one on? I'll catch you up.
I know I'm hot, but can you hear me now?
Now we're good there. And
All right, let's circle the wagons and be respectful towards each other and love on each other and do some gokata. Thank y'all again for playing with me. All right, we're done. We're going to go to lunch.
he was just working towards the applause. Again. I second that. Seriously.
So we're working on gokata, the fifth of the Koryu no kata. And what we have found in our previous explorations is there's this kata is composed of chunks of previous kata. So this is technically all prior known stuff. So what's different about this thing? The spirit or the mental state in which you do it. For one thing, in most of our katas that we do, you get on your line and we attack each other and I bust him and we make our way back to our starting points and fix our suits and take a break, and then he attacks and I bust him and we take a break and make our way back to our line. And that's a good way of presenting a kata to a certain people. If you got the VIPs sitting over here, then you don't want to do some techniques here where they can't see and some techniques here. So you're always getting back on your line and doing your stuff where they can see it. But that's not necessarily the best way to practice things, because you lose out on some stuff, right? You bust a real bad guy over here and you turn to walk back to where you were and he jumps on you. So gokata gives us sort of a permission to practice the stuff that we've already known in different ways. This afternoon's session, y'all are probably most familiar with. It is chunks of yan kata, and it's wrist releases and that sort of thing. So let's get cranked up. I got my pile of ukes over there.
Is that what those piles of?
Muscle one.
All right. Another peculiarity, my peculiarity, not the kata's. I think running through this kata that each of the sections sort of blends into the next one. So you don't do some sawari waza and then put that away and do some of this kind of technique and then put that away and do some of this kind of. The sawari waza becomes standing techniques, and we're in a continuous flow that becomes a different sort of attack, and we do several of those and it becomes a different sort of attack. The first couple of attacks in this set, per the official kata, are the judy chops, right? The yokomenuchi, and how to deal with them. But the entire next section of the kata is yokomenuchi. So I just think that the first two techniques of this set go better at the end. So we'll skip the first two, come back to them in a few minutes. There's this piece of yan kata where he comes up and then walks around and grabs my collar. Okay. The timing issue in gokata is I would like to step into him, interrupt his timing, and bust him sort of proactively. Here, I'm hanging out, screwed up, late. There's my timing. All right. So I missed the time to step in here and do my thing to him right there. I was flat-footed or something, thinking about something else, and he grabs that hand. So I get a second chance when he takes that step to grab my collar. So he grabs my hand and my collar, and I point in the hole when he touches my neck. Right? There is a release that is going on here. If I turn close to him, I can force a release by pushing forward, right? In the event that I cannot force a release by pushing forward, I can force a release by turning against his thumb. So, per the kata, when he touches, I perform those two releases and then bust him in the chops with an elbow or a Judy chop or whatever. All right. So one more and y'all can play that. When he touches, point in between his feet. If he doesn't release, turn your hand and Gaku Gameate, number 3. All right? Play that for a few moments and I'll add something interesting to it.
Okay. I came in on the tail end of it.
So there's no taking your foot and counterbalancing your foot like that?
You're going to come in on the side. I missed the release here. I get you.
And when he recovers from the sudden release of that, you step behind him. Yeah, I haven't been doing that thing. I've just been saying that I missed to have mastered that thing right now because we'll keep coming around to it. One of the distinctives of gokata is it's a continuous flow, almost like a chain of techniques, except it's not like I try this thing and it doesn't work, so I try this thing and it doesn't work, and then I throw you. This is a chain like I throw you, but I failed to control you and you attack again, and I do the next thing. And I failed to control you and you attack again and I do the next thing. So it's a different sort of chain. All right. This time we're going to do this thing on the left side. I attempt the same thing. Oh, and I can't make him let go of me. Right? So sometimes that this release fails. When one way of thinking about this is when I can't do my normal move, it's really this hand that's constraining me. So get on the other side of that hand. And Gaku Gameate or Gedan. Okay, it's the same deal. He touches here. When he touches my neck, push in the hole. When that doesn't release, duck your head and your arm under, and you have Gedanate. So this thing is a continuous flow. He grabs this right side, and he gets up and grabs this side. Oh, that didn't work. He wised up. All right. Play that and see how you like that. You can do just the second technique, or you can do 1 then 2, however you like it. There's your chant. There you go. And you bust him. He gets up, and he's not done.
Okay. And he had it. Oh, he was doing.
Dang, I missed it.
Definitely get nothing.
From there, or do I wait till you grab?
That's right. Good. Doggone it.
Well, I really got to go.
That's a little trick that Henry was always emphasizing to us is when we get here and turn through. The purpose of this hand is to pick that side of his body up.
Pick this side.
Right. To distort there.
Okay.
Now, duck your head and your arm through. Head goes under here. Arm goes through the hole. Moving the walking it is.
Absolutely.
All right, because it's several of them. The walking things are not the sort of, it's not the sort of exercise where this is one thing and there's only one thing that's useful for, right? There's several moves in the kata where at the end you're doing this. For instance, helicopter, throw something over your shoulder. All right, where's my victim? There he is. He gets here, let's turn around a little bit. He gets here. I can't get this shook loose. Frequently, I can't shake this loose because he's jerking on me here. Oh, right? So this is my problem. This ain't my problem. So I change his grips all up, right? I can do the thing here, and I think last time I demonstrated that I did it here. Some people like to do it here. Put your hip behind him and throw something over your shoulder. All right. One of my favorite teachers of all time, great man, demonstrated this thing. Just like that. So everybody wants to grab this guy and throw him this way, when that might not be the strong way to do this thing. Just discard him. Oh. Just be done with the guy. All right. By picking up that far arm, where am I? Once I duck under that thing, the grip, if he maintains the grip, it deforms his posture some. As I pick that thing up, it deforms his posture worse and worse. And then I shift my hips and tear his base out from under him. All right, so try, grab this thing and use it to stop the hand escape. Duck under that, stick your hand through the hole, and throw his far shoulder over you. See how that works. This thing appears in Yan Kata, and he grabs here and here, and you elbow him in the head, and he grabs here and here, and you duck under and dump him. But here we get to practice them sort of in rapid succession. So instead of moving back to our origin and demonstrating them in a certain direction, it sort of wanders all over the mat. All right, the guy, I've thrown him down. He gets up again, and it's a right number 4 release. All right. All right. Whoa. Kite and Nagi. This is another thing from Yarn Kata. I'm late again. We have several of these deals where he steps in and I step in and I do a thing to him. Well, this time maybe I step in and he's got me, oh crikey. My plan of stepping in and disrupting him has screwed me up. So I better get out of the way. Dang, he's still there. All right, so keep trying to get behind him and he won't let me. I'm behind him. No, I'm not. I'm behind him. And it's Kite and Nagi. And then we're going to do another similar thing on the other side after you play that a few times. A while ago we did this thing where on each of these moves, somebody was asking me a while ago, didn't I say that Tori is advancing or provocative or something like that? Yes. In this exercise, Tori is taking at least a step into greet Uke. So I said a time or two ago that one of our strategies is when I see this confrontation is unavoidable, run at him and then deal with the collision. All right. So I step in here and can't think of what to do, and I dove at this knee last time in the prior class. All right. So I step in here, can't figure out what to do. I don't want to be in front of him anymore. All right. So this is a release 4 also, whether I grab him or he grabs me. I would prefer to be outside behind him in a position where I can do all my previous moves that I enjoy, that I'm an expert at now. Right? So I step in, can't figure it out, so I get outside. Right? He won't let me hang out outside. He doesn't like this. I don't like this. All right? So this is sort of a Randori, sort of a contest to see who can get behind who. All right? All right, so it's not like I see this guy coming and I say, aha, I recognize that you are susceptible to my 4-step move. Right? It's not like this is one thing that I've decided to do to him because I'm cool.
But you are.
I am, but that's not what I'm doing. I'm saying, whoa, whoa. All right, I'm trying to get behind him successive times. He's trying to turn back to face me successive times, and I keep getting behind him. I got a great compliment from George after I met him the first time. We did some Randori, and he told me, man, you're hard to get behind. And I'm like, whoa, that is tremendous, because all those guys spend all their Aiki career getting behind folks. They're like, that's step 1 in every technique is right here. Right? So when he told me I'm hard to get behind, I'm like, oh, cool. It's exercises like this that hopefully will render you difficult to get behind. All right, so play this thing again a few times with this idea of not doing one graceful thing, but doing several iterations of get behind the guy, he screws that up, get behind him, he screws that up. Thank you. Stuck behind him and push him out there. That's a beautiful kata thing, and it makes your hakama fan out like that, and it makes a pretty thing. But there's a version of this thing that is probably more practical for sitting the guy down and taking control of him right here. And I had a sensei last weekend come up to me and said, do you know how to put a chicken to sleep? I'm like, no, that's not in my expertise. Smooth. Or you can stick his head under his wing. All right. Another walking kata move, right? We have this this thing that looks like this. It's a goofy-footed turn. Frequently, I'll tell my students that it's that sort of thing or this sort of thing. All right. Let's see, can we get that kainagi from this thing? All right. We're here. He turns to face me. I get behind him. He turns to face me. I'm still dealing with him continually turning to face me. All right. So it's a rotary throw or a rotary throw. All right. So I don't have to be taking this guy and trying to fan him this way. I can just be trying to deal with him looking at me again. All right, stick his head into his armpit and sit him down. Play this a few times.
Now, as opposed to rotary, could that be a gyrographic throw? Okay.
So we said a while ago, sometimes you step in and can't handle it and you dive at his knees. And sometimes you step in and you can't handle it, so you get out of his way, try to get behind him. And we saw those techniques. Now we're going back to that dive at his knees idea. All right? We step in and do our thing. It's the same technique as before. I turn to the outside, he turns to face me. All right. And who was making fun of the shade under my butt yesterday?
This is shady over here.
Yeah, shady over here.
I'm stepping under the arm, and I'm in one of those modes where I still really can't figure out what's going on. Right? I'm trying to get behind him, but I'm sort of screwing up. I trip him with my butt and let him go that way. All right.
1 point. You know how devastating this is? Every level of football has taken that block out because it destroys so many things.
Yeah.
That's a. In professional football, you do it once, you get a personal foul. Do it twice, you're out till whenever they decide to bring you back. So it's a very valid thing.
So have fun, folks.
Yeah. We're not going to outlaw it here. I'm just saying.
If you
Because we got a lot of shade to work out under.
If you break your partner's knees, then you reduce your population at a rate of log base 2 of n. So see how that goes.
Make sure they're over you before you stand up.
Don't stand up under them and jack them up into the air. I am not trying to do cool moves to him. I'm not like getting here and trying to look like a samurai and throw him like this. I'm hiding from him because he is a terrible thing, right? Whoa, I don't like that. Ah! All right? I'm hiding from this guy instead of trying to look cool. So, one more safety point that I made the other day after JW reminded me. Don't hang your foot out here for them to step on or trip on or something. Kneel on.
And it's coming out from under the shade.
That's right. Hide it up under the shade of your butt. That was non-triumphant.
You need one more flag when you go off.
That happens. There it is. There I looked cooler than when I was trying to hide. All right, play that. Thank you. All right, we've been through 4 of the 6 techniques in this set, and they're sort of miscellaneous arm grabbing type things from Yan Kata. I said the first two techniques that we were going to skip over and come back to the end are judo chops or yokomenuchi, right? And he comes in here and
Right side?
yeah, oh, this side, yeah. It's here. Okay. You so bad you make sensei forget. I gotta check my notes. Hang on a second. That's like the favorite thing of everybody. All right. He chops me. It's release 4. To here. All right. See how you can get this thing. I'm fading away from the attack. That's a pretty common thing. I'm surprised I move away from the attack, catch it and pass it by me. To here. All right, play that. Uke made me do a variation last time. That wasn't the official technique. That was a variant. So he chops. I move away from the thing. I've also called this thing hot potato because I'm switching his hand from place to place, from this hand to this hand. When I swing around this corner and his hand goes from in front of the plane of his feet to behind the plane of his feet, I put a little bit of weight on it and hammer him. All right, that's the variation that you saw. The kata technique is the hot potato thing, and before he ever gets back to here. All right. All right. Grab his collar and put it in his butt, and then hammer him. All right. If he doesn't have a collar or a nice gi on, then grab hair or eyeballs or ears or earrings or whatever. All right. Thank you. Play that one a little bit. This one's a little earlier. I move away from the attack and release 4. All right. Here I move away from the attack and release 2. All right. All right. So release 2 is a cross side sort of deal. You have to sort of be on top of the timing to snatch a hook punch out of the air and stand your ground. You have to kind of be good to do that, right? And it's a natural reaction to sort of flinch away from somebody slapping you. Okay, so take a step away from, flinch away from this thing, and it will be a little easier to catch. All right. Mistake that I made a moment ago was trying to do this thing too early. Great point that Nick brought is if I get too aggressive and do this thing too early, I'm snatching him into my middle, which is Geta Nate for him, right? He runs through here. All right, so what's the term for whole body power? Is it a Dojo? You take that turn around the corner and you destabilize him greatly. One more, please. Here. Thank you. So play 1 or 2 or 3 of those variations, however you like. And that's the end of this class.
Not yet. Play 1 or 2 or 3 variations, and then
play them, and then we'll bow. So that set of that set of things is Yan Kata elements of Yan Kata done, repeated in gokata, sort of practiced a different way with a more continuous feel, and arranged such that they flow from the previous set on into the next set. Did y'all have any questions or comments about any of that?
Good explanations.
Thank you. Let's circle up and knock off, and we'll finish it up tomorrow. Thank you.